What's up, March? It's a Chaos, Kid Rose Chaos. I actually know Devin Valentine gang. I gotta get used to saying my full thing because everything's now Devin Valentine. Now, I do gotta apologize for the video I made before about Pedro Pascal and his co-stars because it turns out I was wrong. It turns out that I didn't know what I was talking about and didn't do enough research. And it's from the face value, from everything in the face value, it looks the way it looks. So I understand, which the only thing that sucks is because you got these grifters spreading misinformation, telling people that, it is. And it's easy to take every little thing out of context. I've looked this up. There is actually some anxiety cases, albeit rare, where it requires you to have human touch. So I'm gonna be man enough and apologize for. In fact, that's why I deleted the video in the first place. I deleted that one video to apologize for my statements I made before because I fell for it. Because the thing that says you got these grifters spreading misinformation. This is why misinformation is a very dangerous weapon or tool. That can be used in the wrong way as possible. So, it has happened. So the thing with Pedro Pascal, I was wrong. There is legit anxiety where you need human touch. I think the issue is when anything shows up in interviews, we knee-jerk, overreact, and make up things that it's not based in reality. Understand the context of the situation and not doing research and believing everything you see on the internet is dangerous and irresponsible. I feel I fell for it at first, but now I understand with the context now, there was nothing wrong with what happened in those press conferences. I'll man up and say I'm wrong. So to start off this thing, this review thing, is I was wrong, okay? I let the grifters, make me think there was something wrong because with misinformation out there, this is what happens. And, it's funny that they complain that there's so much misinformation out there when they're the same people that spread it. The people that go out here saying that some superhero films are too woke and stuff like that, especially nowadays, it's not about woke or not. It's really the fact that they're paid to have an agenda out there to slam the actors or slam the project because they don't want diversity in their stuff. That's just simple as that. Now there are some cases where narratives go too far and people take diversity and inclusion too far. There are a few cases of that, but that's not here. But and the reason why this is also why you gotta be very careful and filter out every information. Some of these grifters out there, they'll go out here talking about how bad woke is, Disney's evil, this and that, but then they'll get like a early pass to go see the movie earlier than anything else. I'm not naming certain grifters, but you've probably seen him, went to the early showings of Fantastic Four, so he got to see it earlier than the general public. So it's like, in order to get that kind of stuff locked down, you have to know people that's in the industry, or you gotta be, or you just gotta be, you just gotta be the one giving them some kind of, some advertisement or pay cuts in order for you to see those kind of movies. Now, done with the Pedro Pascal thing. I apologize, I man up, and I apologize for my statements. The movie was good. I'm not going to spoil it here for anyone who has to see it, but unlike what these grifters are saying, this actually did follow the comics pretty well. Now, it did adapt some new stuff, some new material than other Fantastic Fours. It wasn't an origin story of the Fantastic Four. So if you want to see the origin stories of the Fantastic Four, by all means, watch the 2003 Fox ones. if you need to do that. But it's definitely a newer take. I did like the Silver Surfer, and yeah, there was a woman Silver Surfer in the comics. The woman Silver Surfer in the comics was the wife of the original Silver Surfer. Just this time, they use the wife character in a different way in this adaptation. It's just a different take of Fantastic Four, and it was not bad. I thoroughly enjoyed it, to be honest. You know, contrary to any kind of beliefs people have, I think it was just fine. I think most people just went out their way to just went on. It's like the Superman. I went to Superman feeling the same way as if I read off the comic page, with the bright colors and everything. Galactus is exactly what he is. That's all I gotta say. I'm not gonna spoil it. Galactus is exactly the way he should be. That's all I'm gonna say, so I don't spoil it. They did him right. I don't think there's not a character they did wrong. And all the complaints that people said was gonna happen, it didn't come true at all. It didn't. That's why I said I would go ahead and buy a ticket to the movie theater, go see the movie, or if you have a Disney Plus or whatever account you need to watch the movie, I would just go watch the stuff first. Then if you think something's too woke, okay, you went and actually experienced it, rather than you letting internet people who don't even believe the messages they put out there, sway you. So it was good. There's nothing that was done wrong to any character. In fact, it was on the nose in the comic books, and that's exactly what it is. Well, I like the female Silver Surfer because, and I'm not gonna say no specific things or reason why, but I'll just say by the actress, because I do watch the show Ozark with Julia Gardner. Julia Gardner's the one who played the Silver Surfer in this. There's not one thing I have not seen her in where she's not good. That woman can act. I want to see more Julia Gardner in anything else. I'm surprised they got a person from Ozark. I don't remember, Ozark's kind of a popular show, but it's not so popular that you see actors crossing into the MCU or anything like that. But the fact that one did, Julia Gardner, that just says a whole lot, And if you don't know, she plays Ruth from Ozark, which I think is a show everybody should be watching too. It's a really good show. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. The point is, that was actually my favorite part of the movie. And it was going to be it because Julia Gardner's bae. I'm just going to be completely honest. I don't think they did anything completely woke like they said it was going to be. I think everything was a traditional comic, not only the traditional comic book, but it looked like it was more of a family, film statement, if you really think about it. It's more about family than anything else. That's and there ain't nothing wrong with that, Jen. In fact, if that's woke, then we have lost the plot altogether. We have lost the plot altogether. But then again, if you just took the time to go and watch the movie, or have buddies who will pay your way to go see the movie, I would have went and done that rather than just go and throw out this is woke, that's woke, woke, as if that's the only word that you could spell out. But I don't, like I said, I could not find nothing wrong with this Superman. I wouldn't say it's flawless. There was some stuff that was kind of but then again, nothing's a perfect masterpiece at all. But I will say it's refreshing to see a bright, superhero film, besides the Superman. It's good to go back to feeling like you're reading the comic books with the films, and it is. It's just with the films, it just had more attractive actors and actresses, and that's actually a good thing. That's actually, and I've said before, that's never a bad thing. I think, going back to having sex appeal in these films really did work. Really did work. Putting a beautiful woman like, Vanessa Kirby and Julia Gardner, I'm gonna be honest, that should be a good thing for the guys. And of course, this is guys who don't listen to internet losers who lie about movies, who lie about everything that they talk about. And then the fan service. Besides Pedro Pascal, they had Joseph Quinn, which if you didn't know, he was what's his name from Stranger Things? Eddie. Eddie. I'm wearing the shirt right now. Eddie the Banished from Stranger Things. And actually, it just, like I said, it played very well because, oh man, I'll be honest, people were worried that Johnny Storm was going to be behaving differently than he was in the comics or cartoons or anything. No. In fact, he actually just doubled down and did some of the similar stuff as Chris Evans when Chris Evans was Johnny Storm. So, like I said, it worked out completely perfect, to be honest. But it's like, this is actually just by going out there and experiencing life yourself, rather than let an NPC on the computer screen tell you what you can and can't enjoy. So, it was really a good movie, all in all. And we were only conditioned to believe certain things because things get repeated in our brains and shown to us without context. And context is a very important thing, and that's the thing that most people don't understand. I think now it's not even the fact that there is any woke stuff, because there really isn't in the Superman or the Fantastic Four. I think what it is that we're so conditioned to believe anything that major corporations like Warner Brothers and Disney put out there is extremely woke, because you got people whispering in your ear. You got people going in your ear telling you this is how things are. And then when you go to experience, it's different than what you thought it was, because, again, real life experience versus a singular experience that a group of Hugbox people have are completely different than what they got out there. And like I said, it's just, that's the thing. The whole idea, that's why I said, go do research for yourself. Go watch the movies by yourself. Go do your own stuff. I implore you to do your own stuff before deciding, before deciding a mindset at all. Because even being undecided is a sin. Go decide things by yourself by checking things out. If you go and check things out, then you'll find out, most of the people on the social media has been lying to you. So maybe Chris will be with you, and don't believe what everybody tells you.